Hey guys, welcome to the GMAC Anime Cast. Tonight we're going to be reviewing Violet Evergarden episode 12. I'm your host Makotoa, and with me today we have
the Cinder Blaze.
This episode was not an episodic standalone side story of some random character we're introduced that makes us cry by the end. This story was progressing the plot of the world's state, like war and all that jazz. I don't know.
I think it's like the main plot because it involves Violet and Gilbert.
Yeah, you're right.
Kind of plot line.
It involves her, like what's left, I guess, of
like the aftermath of the backstory.
Yeah. And, between her and Gilbert's brother. Oh man, I hate this. I don't know what to say. I know it's still good. There were good parts of it, but I just want to hate it because I'm just just parts of it are just like, no.
All right.
Why?
Before we get to that, because I feel like once we hit that point, we'll kind of burn out on the rest. How would you feel about Gilbert's brother? Forgot his name, but I think it's like Died Hard or something like that. Yeah.
He was there as like the presence to sort of. It's obviously he's that last hurdle for Violet to overcome because he's the one who was closest to Gilbert before he died. Like they're brothers, right? Like.
Yeah, and they were close brothers too.
Yeah, he's holding that personal grudge against her, and I mean that's something that we've seen throughout, here and there, sprinkled in, and now it's finally coming to a head where we're seeing him like really tear into her at one point in the show, but like all the way throughout, he's still very antagonistic towards her. But I'm glad that he didn't like become unreasonable, or he let that compromise his job, because when she started saying that she had seen people from the bad guy army in another part of the country or whatever, and that she also saw the smokestacks and that there were explosions, he was like, come with me, we're gonna talk about this. First he's like, get out of here, I don't want to see her face, but then, she had pertinent information to the situation, so I'm glad that he didn't, like, just say, no, I don't want to hear anything from you because it's you.
Yeah, I was really surprised about that, because I felt like it was really easy for this anime just to kind of take that route, him just being, like, this really mean guy that Violet has to, find, like, just find the path to his heart and, like, do something stupid with it. I also understood his hatred for Violet a lot more this episode. Like, it was kind of like sprinkled throughout this episode where he's really mean to her, and like right at the very end when he, like after he kind of like saves her and stuff, he still like shows that hatred for her, and like why are you not killing and all that other stuff. And I was like, okay,
what use are you as a weapon or something like that?
Yeah, and I was trying to think about it like from his perspective. Violet comes back from the battle that his brother died at, and she's basically not like fine because her arms got blown off, but like she's still alive. And he's like, wait, like how did she become alive? Like, isn't her job to be like that like battle doll, the one that's supposed to be like fighting to save everyone else? Because like those are actual people with lives. Like, what is she doing here alive? Like, why wasn't she protecting Gilbert? And when he sees her again in like episode 6 as a doll, the memory doll, it's just like, wait, now she doesn't even fight anymore? Like, what did Gilbert die for? Like, she's like some like weapon who's trying to be like a writer, and now it's like, okay,
now you can't even defend yourself, you can't even kill, like
Yeah.
What use are you? It was a waste. My brother's death was wasted on you, pretty much.
Yeah, so like I'm really thankful that like it kind of reversed the kind of thing I feared when he first debuted. Like when he was first like super mean to Violet, I was like, oh man, hopefully he's just not a villain for being a villain's sake. But like his character motivation makes a lot more sense this episode, and despite just some of the shortcomings that we'll discuss later on in this review, I really enjoyed his character this episode.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Thank you for bringing some order to my chaos, and because I am just not. Yeah,
like I have to put it before your chaos because like it's a lot harder to put it afterwards.
Yeah, no, I get it. I was very scared for certain characters this episode too, because I didn't know who could potentially die. But you know, this show will do whatever the heck it wants, because it doesn't play by its own rules, man. Like, I'm gonna just call it right now. The most frustrating thing for me this episode was guns and the lack of use of them. Like, it didn't make any sense. Like, Gilbert in the same episode, he's just shooting everybody with his pistol, like one-shotting people. You know, he took out like the entire
his older brother.
He took out everybody in the front, then came back to the back to take out everyone else, right? Like, because Violet wasn't doing it, and when she was fighting them, they weren't shooting. They just kind of approached like to stab her with the shank at the end of the gun, and then she just beat them up, and then like even that scene where she like starts strangling the guy, and he's mouthing off for some reason, like just being evil for evil's sake, which I'm glad Gilbert wasn't that this episode, but I guess they had to fill it in somewhere.
Stop calling him Gilbert, you're confusing the audience.
Sorry.
Call him Oni-chan from now on.
Right. But like, it's just and you know, you're frustrated because she's like, I really don't like it when a character says, you know, I'm not going to kill anymore, even though it could potentially be the thing that saves lives in the end, you know, like the people who are innocent in the car or in the cabin. And okay, she's got these whatever, what do you call them,
like flashbacks in the middle of fighting?
No, her it's why she believes that she shouldn't kill.
Oh yeah, she had
there's the word. She has these convictions. She's not going to kill. The other guys feel like they just want to fight with bare hands and their sticks instead. And then one on the ground shoots at her, and she writhes in pain as if she was hit. And yet we don't see anything. There's no bullet wound. There's no blood. Remember the last time she got shot? Her arm fell off. And now it's just a flesh wound, right? Like, what is this?
Hey, that flesh wound killed him, so.
Okay, this show is so amazing. This show is so amazing when it comes to character development and like character introductions and arcs and like the storytelling of all that. When it comes to action and like making sense of how fights should work, they'll sacrifice it all just for the like. It's just all through continuity, common sense, like in battle, all of it's thrown out the window for whatever, you know, motive that they decide they want to like throw into this.
Yeah, I think like in the action scenes for this series, like your suspension of disbelief like can't cover what happens in those scenes. Like for this episode, like you said, the use of guns. Why weren't they using it? Like
Gilbert's brother was, but they weren't.
Yeah, like there is no reason for like the rebel army to not shoot Violet in that scene. It made absolutely no sense. And early, like even throughout the rest of the series, like when Violet basically goes like not Super Saiyan, but you know, along similar terms to wipe out everyone, it feels a little off-putting, even those situations where it's been established that she's like a good fighter. Mostly because like the rest of the series is has like a lot more realism in it, right?
Yeah.
Like they established like a believable world, and like her interactions with people felt really real, and that's kind of what drew me to the series. Like this is realism, and when they kind of throw it off to the side for these action scenes, it feels like it shouldn't be happening this way. Like,
yeah,
I wish like it was a bit more grounded, but
because we've had lots of use of guns that played critical roles in certain characters' lives or lack thereof. You know, Gilbert gets shot in the face. Like friggin' the last episode, that one surviving kid's just like running through the forest. He gets shot. He's crawling. Like, guns are a thing, and they were used to show the tragedy of war.
Yeah,
and they were done well in those episodes, except when Violet comes into play.
Yeah. Okay, that reminds me of another point I want to make real quick. Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
Go for it.
It's another point that you made early on when everyone was kind of like splitting up on the train. You're like, oh, I felt like this person's gonna die, and that's kind of what I was feeling too. Whoever Violet is next to, it feels like they're gonna be safe because
they're safe. Yeah,
she's like the Mary Sue. She's gonna protect everyone because she's like so competent, and whoever is kind of separated from her, they are at a high risk of dying.
Yeah,
and surprisingly, Gilbert's brother was a competent fighter.
Yeah,
not fighter, but you know, like he was using his gun and he didn't die. I was super surprised that he lived through that. Also, Catalea and that one delivery boy who looks like a Final Fantasy character. I'm surprised that they weren't put in harm's way this episode either.
Yeah, they had every opportunity to tease it too. They didn't even tease it.
Yeah, but like whatever like area Violet is in, like everyone in that area is kind of like safe, except for that flashback where, you know,
obviously the original Gilbert death. Of course he's not safe. Well, and if she comes upon someone who's already been critically wounded, then it's too late. But if she's there from the start, they're good.
Yeah, that's probably why Gilbert dying was such a plot twist.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was just like the kind of like safety bubble. It felt like a little bit too BS-y, especially with that one time where she got shot and apparently it hit her, but we don't know. We couldn't even tell where.
Where? Like, did it hit her in the arm and then it just, ow? Like, what?
Well, the second shot that she took definitely hit her in the arm, I think, because it made that metal clank.
The like frickin' rocket launcher thing.
Yeah.
Which she deflected. I mean, like, I will give props to the episode for like the action that is done, albeit not necessarily like making much sense when they should have been shooting her instead of trying to attack her physically. It's executed well. The animation was great. Like, I think it's a little strange seeing this many frames per second on these action scenes.
Okay. For the action scenes, they were all right. For the transition scenes between that montage we had in the middle of the episode where we just kind of like check up on characters who were basically doing nothing but probably have probably foreshadowing arcs in like episode 13 and 14. It was just kind of like, bleh, why is this here? It's just kind of like wasting time. But in between those, they had really nice animation for the transitions, and I was just like, this is weird. Like, why are you spending your budget on stuff like this? Like, the fight scenes I felt like were serviceable.
They were serviceable. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
It's just like her dress blowing through the wind and her hair like whipping around and stuff the whole time. Like, and that was in between the actual combat, but that was just nice looking.
Oh yeah. Right.
Anything else?
I thought you were gonna say something real quick. Oh,
no.
Her scenes on the plane, I felt were animated really nicely, just because it looked nice. That's about
like you said, easy to screen cap.
Yeah.
for the episode.
Yeah, but that's about it for me.
Yeah, we got 2 episodes left, I believe.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to see where we go from here. I mean, it's obvious that Gilbert's brother has not yet, like, accepted her. He's learned more, and he's finally vented his frustrations. He's like, hurry up and die. Like, jeez, you saved her, actually, this episode, so I don't understand that logic. No, yeah, I get it. He vented it all, but we'll see where it goes from here. I hope this isn't the end of his, like, development or
life.
This issue, his life.
Could easily die next episode.
I mean, yeah, I guess that one guy's still alive and climbing back up, so he has a gun in his hand. Watch out.
Yes.
Also, the pendant. Ugh.
Yeah.
When that got taken off of her, like, oh no. That's like a character. That's a character death right there. If that gets lost, that's like a character death to me.
That's like killing Gilbert, dude.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then, like, when his brother looked at that necklace, he's just like, dang. Like, he understood. Like,
yeah.
I liked the interactions with the necklace. They're pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, I think that's it for us. Let us know what you guys thought about this episode. Give us a like if you liked the video. Subscribe if you want to see the rest of what's left of Violet Evergarden. The last couple of episodes we will be reviewing. Also, Discord chat, social medias if you want to check us out, talk to us individually. Those are there. I guess that's about it. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. Keep it juicy.